We're all very grateful to Sri Amma Bhagwan for coming and giving us darshan physically and for talking to us and for living in our homes, Bhagwan. Please guide us how to make Amma and Bhagwan more and more physical in our lives and how to take care of them, Bhagwan. Thank you, Bhagwan.
The basic conditions that you must fulfill for Amma Bhagwan to become physical is the conditions for Amma Bhagwan to become physical is you should carry no hurt inside you. You should be free of all hurt. And the next thing is you must be filled with gratitude towards everyone who has helped you in your life, starting with your parents. If these two conditions are fulfilled, then Amma Bhagwan would physically manifest in your own home. When that happens, you must talk to Amma Bhagwan. The more you talk, the more physical they would become. Initially, what would happen is you will find some movements in the Srimurti. The eyes blinking, the hands moving, or Amma and Bhagwan talking. These kind of things you are likely to see. And then, that is the first step. The next step is Amma Bhagwan or your Ishtadevata. Whatever God you are worshipping, that's what you would see. That God would step out of the Srimurti. In case you are worshipping Amma Bhagwan, they would step out of the Srimurti. We call this the first level of manifestation. We also call this physical, non-physical. That is, it would look physical. But if you try to touch, your hand would go inside Amma Bhagwan. Therefore, it is non-physical. That is the first step. Next, what happens is, as you communicate more and more, as you talk more and more, then it becomes physical. That is, it would look physical. You can also touch. You could feel the breath. You could touch the hands. You could touch the jibbab. All these things you could do. But then you cannot photograph. You click the photograph, it will not come in the photograph. The third level is it becomes physical. It looks physical, you can touch it is physical, you could also photograph. But then Amma Bhagwan would stay inside the puja room, they will not come out. The fourth stage, they would come out of the puja room, they would walk in your house, they would come to the dining table, they could watch TV with you, they could come into your kitchen, all these things would happen. And at the fifth level, they would come out of the house itself and walk with you. That is the next level. But for all this to happen, you must be very communicative. For example, if you are a very reserved person who does not talk, who does not listen, then Amma Bhagwan would not talk to you, would not listen to you. You must be a friendly person, communicating well with your mother, with your father, with your husband, with your wife, with your children. Only for such people it would happen. If you are a reserved person who does not listen to what anybody is talking, or you do not talk, for such people this would not happen. So step by step it would increase. Then of course you must ask Amma Bhagwan or your God who is manifested, what should you do? What kind of food they would like to eat? Do they want to stay in your house? Do you have a room for them? All these things is between you and the physical manifestation. You must talk and they will guide you completely what to do. Depending on that, they would be there. And of course, you can ask whatever you want. Whatever trouble you are in, you can directly ask, I have a financial problem, I have a health problem, I have that problem, this problem. Or you can say, give me awakening, give me transformation. So whatever we have been teaching you, you could straight away ask, and they would give you a diksha. That is the highest diksha. God Himself, the Divine itself, coming to you physically and giving you a diksha. When that diksha is given, it's all over. All the human diksha is only a preparation for that. Ultimate diksha is the Divine itself gives you a diksha. With that, when that is done, it's all over. But what you must know is the Divine can become very physical, will actually live with you like another family member. It could become that physical. That you must understand.
How to discover love in our relationships, Bhagwan, given our stressful lives, Bhagwan. Thank you, Bhagwan.
Yes. Love in relationship is also very helpful to make the Divine very physical to you. And for that to happen, what you must do is, you must move into the shoes of your wife or husband or parents, as the case may be, and try to look at things as the other is looking. you always have your point of view. That is not enough. You must move into the other person's shoes and look at the world or look at yourself as they are looking. This is easily achieved. It is not difficult. When that happens, judgment ceases. As judgment comes down, love goes up. You do not have love because you're constantly judging from the past knowledge, the past images. With all that, you are judging your spouse, be it your husband or your wife or your parents. Continuously the mind is judging. Where there is judgment, there is no love. This judgment must stop. Nobody should be judged. And it is achieved only if you could take the other person's point of view. If that could happen, then judgment naturally and automatically stops. When that happens, you are very beautifully filled with love. And once you have love in your heart, the divine would quickly become physical.
Bhagavan, how to liberate our ancestors, Bhagavan, and how to receive their blessings, Bhagavan, and how does it help in our daily lives, Bhagavan? Thank you, Bhagavan.
It is very easy to liberate your ancestors by praying to your divine. When the divine becomes physical, to bring your ancestor out of the Srimurti, your ancestor would come out. You can actually see your ancestor physically, and you could request Amma Bhagavan or the God that you are worshipping to liberate them. It would happen then and there. You can actually physically meet your dead ancestors. They can come out. It is happening in many places. And the best day to do it is their death anniversary. During the anniversaries, you could pray and they would come out. On that day, you could also make dishes which your ancestor likes. You could place them there and your ancestor will eat those dishes. They will eat it. It's happening. And then they would be very happy with you, and they would also give you a blessing, and then they would go back into the Srimurti and vanish. So that is the best way to liberate your ancestors, and the best day is their death anniversaries. Whatever year it is, 42nd year or 43rd year or even 50th year of the anniversary, you could do it.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Bhagavan, how does it help in our daily lives, Bhagavan, the blessings of our ancestors, Bhagavan?
Many of the problems are because of your ancestors not being happy with you. Now this kind of thing where you invoke them, get them there, and you do a padapran to them, the dead ancestors, and you feed them what they like, and getting a blessing from them would almost instantly solve your problems. The problems are there because you do not have their blessings. That's one way of solving your problems.
Thank you. Please explain the deeper meaning of the statement, Bhagavan. Gratitude is the mother of all good feelings, Bhagavan. Thank you, Bhagavan.
We are all controlled by a program. All that is happening in our life, our finances, our husband, wife, sickness, ailment, success, failure, these are manifestations of the program. The program itself comes from past lives, the moment of conception, whatever happened in the womb, the delivery, how it happened, and the first 6 hours are very crucial, and then the first 6 years. That is the program which completely controls everything about you. Now, there are positive aspects and there are negative aspects in the program. When you have gratitude, what happens is all the positive things in the program, they get switched on, and the negative things get switched off. On the other hand, if you do not have gratitude, even the positive ones get switched off and the negative ones get switched on. So one of the simplest ways of changing the program is to build up gratitude. That can happen by easily going into the other person's shoes or reviewing your life. It's easily achieved. Once you have gratitude, you will see your life is beginning to change.
Bhagavan, please explain the difference between physical Amma Bhagavan and the Satyalok Amma Bhagavan and the Antaryamin Amma Bhagavan.
So for this you must understand, Amma and myself, we are not physical Amma Bhagavan. We are only Avatar Amma Bhagavan. That's all. We can give you a blessing. We cannot do things. This is done by Paramatma Amma Bhagavan, who are the ones who are becoming physical to you in your homes or in the chambers. That is the Paramatma Amma Bhagavan who actually do things. Now, we are only some kind of guides and we are blessing. So you should now get to the Paramatma Amma Bhagavan who become physical to you. They would be helping you in all your affairs, totally and completely. They will take care of your spiritual growth, everything. And in case they become physical to you, you can be sure that when you die, you will be going to Vaikuntha or Satyaloka above. That's where you'll be going. It means you have got your visa to go there. It's confirmed if you get it physically. Now with the help of this Paramatma Amma Bhagavan, you can go to the Purushottama Amma Bhagavan. That is another loka where they exist. They physically exist. It's much more real than this loka. But you cannot get there without the help of the Paramatma Amma Bhagavan. So you should request them, ask them to take you there. When that happens, you could actually visit that loka and you could see Purushottama Amma Bhagavan there, or you will see Purushottama Rama or Purushottama Krishna or Purushottama Christ, whatever is your faith or whatever God you are worshipping, that's the God you would be seeing in that loka. Now, with the help of that Purushottama, let us say Amma Bhagavan, if you get close to them, build up a bond with them, then with that help, you could go to the Jyoti. The Jyoti is much beyond. The Jyoti is like a million suns put together, but that love or compassion you cannot imagine. So you can get there. And then when you go to the Jyoti, with the help of the Jyoti, you could go to the unmanifest Brahman, or what the mantra we call Om. Now for example, electricity, we have no idea about it at all. But when it manifests as heat, light, motion, or electromagnetic waves, then we know, oh yes, there is electricity. But when it is unmanifest, we have no idea about it. That Om or Brahman is the unmanifest. That is the ground from which everything starts. For example, the Bible, it is said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And God said, let there be light. That word only is Om. That only is Brahman. That is the one of Taoism. That manifests as light. So we start the Mula Mantra with Om, and that light is Sachidananda Parabrahma. That's the Mula Mantra. It says Om Sachidananda Parabrahma. That becomes the Purushottama. That light becomes the Purushottama. And therefore we say Purushottama. That Purushottama becomes the Paramatma. That's why the mantra says Paramatma. And that Paramatma has created the avatar. So we say Bhagavati Samayita Bhagavate Namaha. That's what you are reciting every day without knowing what it means. But now, when the Lord becomes physical to you, you should ask, please take me to the Purushottama. And when you get there, you must ask, take me to Sachidananda Parabrahma. And then when you go there, you can say, take me to Om or Brahman. So you could go there. And that's where you will finally reach. So step by step you can go. It all depends upon you. If you want to be one with the unmanifest God, you could go there. And when you go there, you will realize that you only are that God. In the beginning you see the avatars, you see, then you see the Paramatma, then you see the Purushottama, then you see the light. But when you go into Om, the Brahman, you only are that. You alone exist. You are everything. There is nothing else. You are only that sublime God, the highest God, the God of gods. That you only are that. All this is only a journey towards that. Suddenly you discover you only are that. Then you say, Tattvamasi, thou art that. Or Aham Brahmasmin, I am the Brahman. So all these teachings of the Upanishads, they become reality to you. So Adi Shankara got there. People like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Namdev, Chaitanya. So all these people, Christ, Guru Nanak, all of them went up to the level of Purushottama, the Arvas, the Nayanmars. They could have gone above if they wanted to, but they wanted to stay there. That's what they preferred. Some went into the Jyoti like Ramalinga Swami, who said Arut Perunjodi, Thani Perun Karanai. So they went there, and people like Adi Shankara went beyond Jyoti into Brahman. So this is a matter of discovery. It all depends upon you where you want to go. But you must start with the Paramatma who becomes physical to you. That is the beginning of the journey. Once it happens, everything is automatic thereafter. It all depends on your passion and your seeking.
Bhagavan, what role does Seva play in our lives to deepen our connection with Amma Bhagavan, and how does it help us to move further into oneness, Bhagavan? Thank you.
Seva helps you in changing your program in a very positive way. As you keep doing Seva, the program changes. Everything in oneness, whether it is a Havan or whether it is a Mahadiksha or a level 1 course or whatever course we are conducting, everything aims at changing the program. The Seva also changes the program. Once the program changes, you can get very, very close to the Paramatma, Amma Bhagavan. It helps you to make the divine physical for you in life. So, and then of course whatever Seva you must do, the Paramatma only will guide you straight away. It would say do this, do that. It will help you discover your Swadharma. It's purely between you and the Paramatma.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Bhagavan, please guide us how to start oneness communities, Bhagavan, and how to establish oneness centers, Bhagavan, and also the 2-chamber and 3-chamber processes, Bhagavan. Thank you, Bhagavan.
First, you must be able to get the Paramatma physically in your life. And then you must create a virtual community where you keep talking on the cell phones every day about the teaching, about the miracles, and you keep discussing about people's problems. You pray for others. This kind of thing must happen. And then you move on to creating the chambers, either the 2-chamber process or the 3-chamber process, for which we must, in the university here, we will ask the physical Amma Bhagavan, not we. The Paramatma who becomes physical, the dasas talk to them every day. For the dasas, Paramatma is totally physical. They will ask them and they must select you. Only such people can start this 2-chamber or 3-chamber process. 2-chamber process is only for healing. 3-chamber process is not just healing, it's also for solving your other problems and to help you to become awakened, transformed, God realized, all those things. So that you must start. So first, Paramatma must become physical to you. That's most important. And then you start the virtual community. And then you move on to the chambers. And then you move on to a physical oneness community. For all that, the divine only will help you. It will help you in constructing, putting up the communities. It's purely between you and the Paramatma.
Bhagavan, how to progress towards transformation and God realization after awakening, Bhagavan? Thank you, Bhagavan.
Oneness moves on 2 paths. The earlier path was, which you even now do, is what we call the long way, where we first transform your brain and we awaken you, which means a change has happened in your brain whereby you would be able to stay with the what is without effort. That you must practice. Initially you must put effort and stay with the what is. And slowly the effort ceases and it becomes automatic. Staying with the what is effortlessly happens. And you keep on doing that till it crosses 49 minutes. When it crosses 49 minutes, changes, physical changes start happening in your heart. Like the brain change, the heart changes. Now, the heart and the brain are closely linked. But very often in our case, the head is controlling all your activities. Now, once this happens, the heart begins to control all your activities. We call this Christian awakening, or you discover unconditional love. That happens. Once this has happened and the brain has changed and they continue for more than 49 minutes, you move into Taoist awakening. In Taoist awakening, you would simply flow with life. That begins to happen automatically. Or it also leads to Islamic surrender, or we call it Islamic awakening. That's what happens. And then finally, changes begin to happen in what is called your Agnya Chakra. It moves there, where you discover Buddhist awakening. In Buddhist awakening, there's absolutely no craving and there are no views. That happens. And then the Kundalini goes up further and the Sahasrara gets activated. And then you come upon Hindu awakening. In Hindu awakening, what happens is your senses get disjointed. For example, when you see, you cannot hear. When you hear, you cannot smell. When you smell, you cannot touch. But it looks as though it's all happening at the same time because these senses are being coordinated so very fast. That gives the illusion of your being there. Actually, you're not there. But the senses are creating that illusion, the trick being played on you by your brain as though you are there. Now, in Hindu awakening, this is slowed down. That is, when you hear, you cannot smell. When you smell, you cannot touch. Well, a fraction of a second, it is separated. Once that happens, the self is gone. What we call the biological self is gone. If you look at a tree, you are not there looking at the tree. Only the tree is there. If you look at the moon, you are not looking at the moon. Only the moon is there. It is filling your consciousness. That's all. You are not there. You look at the sky, only the sky is there. Whatever you look, that only is there. You are not there. That is Hindu awakening. Now all this happens step by step, step by step, step by step. You have to be going on practicing the staying with the waters and the heart flowering, and the duration must increase. This we call the long way. But let us say you get the Paramatma in your life physically, then you have to only say, I want Christian awakening. One Diksha, it is done. You must say, I want Buddhist awakening. One Diksha, it is done. I want Islamic awakening. One Diksha, it is done. I want Hindu awakening, it's done. It's all over. We call this the short way. That is the long way. So, nowadays we run two courses. For example, Western people, when we say oneness deepening, that deals with the long way. Now, for example, what is starting now is called the special oneness deepening. There we teach them the short way. So, there's a long way, there's a short way. So, it's up to you to choose whether you want the long way or the short way. It's purely yours.